Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you, Raish. Thank you very much for your responses. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. So let's stop the chat so that we can focus on the training. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Let's stop the chat so that we can focus on the training. Okay. What's our agenda for today's session? Today is day 5. Today is the 5th day. Our plan for today's session is to understand the concept of auto scaling. So what's our plan for today's session? So in the last session, we have discussed about the load balancer. Today, we are discussing about auto scaling. We'll understand what do you mean by auto scaling. We'll experience the term called launch configuration. What is launch configuration? Why should we create it? And there's something called auto scaling group. Why should we create auto scaling group? Today, we are also introducing a new service called as SNS, stands for Simple Notification Service, and what is the purpose done by the Simple Notification Service, as well as we are getting experience towards one more service called as CloudWatch service, where in which we'll learn how to create alarms and then we'll add policies. So this is something very, very important and very, very interesting session because we are learning many new things. We'll be having some exposure towards a service called as SNS service, as you can see the slide. We'll also experience one more service called CloudWatch service, and this is one of the most important frequently asked question in the interview. If they ask you about AWS, definitely they'll ask about load balancer, which we discussed in the last session. They'll also discuss about auto scaling. I hope we are comfortable in the concept of load balancer, what we have completed in the previous session. Today we will experience the concept of auto scaling feature. Perfect. Okay. So this is our agenda. So we are clear about the agenda for our today's session. So before getting on to the today's topics, as usual, many participants are ready for interaction. Let's have interaction with some of the participants. To start with Nikhil Reddy. Good morning, Nikhil. How are you doing? You are allowed to unmute yourself. By default, you'll be on mute. We cannot hear you right now, Nikhil. You have to first unmute yourself and then you can have a talk. Looks like some issues with your microphone. Jiten Patel, how are you doing? Can you hear me, Jiten? We cannot hear you. Please check your mic settings. Maruti Jalla, good morning.
Hi, Sunil. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, Maruti. How are you doing?
I'm good, Sunil.
Thank you.
So I'm new to AWS, and I've been picking up the topics quite fast because it's very clear when what you're explaining and stuff.
Thank you. May I know your previous experience?
I have no experience in the IT. This is like pretty new, but I've been learning coding and stuff for past 6 months.
So your plan is to get into IT industry?
So my plan is to get into the IT industry.
So what's your action plan? Now you're learning AWS. What's the next thing?
So I want to be, because I was looking at jobs and stuff. So I have a potential employer who would employ me for the, if I get that certification of solution architect.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Yeah. So my question is like, because these days with the certification, a lot of people are failing or not getting the certified. Is there a way that,
especially in this particular month? Okay, I have experienced a lot of failures in this month. Because two factors, looks like their question bank has been changed. Okay, point number one. Point number two, there is 50% discount in the certification vouchers going on in this month. Because of that, there was a huge traffic appearing for the exams, and that's also could be one reason because of failures. So Marty, I recommend you to wait for one more month. Okay, and I strongly recommend you first focus on the concepts and complete this course. Okay, upon completion of the course, you probably in the month of October, I recommend you to attempt in case if you're planning to get certified. Okay. We
Right.
also provide a proxy support wherein which other participant will be taking the keyboard and mouse control and then writing on behalf of you. That's people who are not finding time to appear and those who are very eager to get certified. So that's also different support. But whatever it is, this is not the right month to appear. Okay.
Yeah. What if I want to go with the proxy support one? So how do I contact
Please
you or the
contact
other?
me or after 1 month, not now. Okay. Probably October ending
Okay.
is the right time. Okay.
Right. So which WhatsApp number do I contact you on? Is there a new link or
The best thing is to contact my email. I hope you have my
which
email
is?
address, isn't it? The support mail. Our team will respond to you. I hope you have it.
Oh yeah, support at Logic Labs. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Tech.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So Maruti, there are a
Thank
lot
you,
of
Sunil.
technologies, isn't it? We have artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and Hadoop. So any specific reason why you have selected AWS?
Initially I started learning. I learned SQL. I learned the Python and C# and stuff, and then I learned the data. All the databases and stuff. But then I realized the AWS is more in demand at the moment because there are a lot of businesses. Because I live overseas, and a lot of businesses are migrating to AWS cloud.
May I know your
And
current
there's a lot of
location?
there is like huge demand in that area. And I thought, it's because it's not most of it is not like coding and stuff. So I thought
Yes,
it'll
you are
be
right.
easy for me to pick to start something.
As you experienced, Maruti, there's no much coding involved here in AWS.
Yeah.
Okay, so conceptual knowledge and understanding how exactly infrastructure AWS helping the clients to manage their infrastructure. Okay, so that's very important. I hope you are enjoying the sessions and please keep continuing.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sunil. I
Thank
am
you very
enjoying
much.
it. Yeah. Thank you.
Any technical questions?
No, actually, yesterday with the load balancer, I was a bit confused, but I thought,
Watch the
are you gonna
recording
repeat that?
once you watch the recordings, I think everything will be crystal clear.
Okay. Right. Cool.
Thank
That's
you.
it. Thank you.
Calvin, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Doing
Yeah,
well, Calvin.
yeah, thank you. I'm speaking from the United States. I was just trying to find out, like, are you doing a similar class like this for DevOps?
Yes. Next week we are starting DevOps.
So how will it be the same WhatsApp group, or is there a different way that someone is going to be able to join?
Yes, it's a different WhatsApp group. You get the information in the existing AWS group. You are part of AWS WhatsApp group, right?
Yes.
You get the information, so please stay tuned.
Thank you.
Anything more, Kelvin?
No, for now, no. I'm
Are we
good.
interacting for the first time, or did we? I think we have discussed before with you.
No, this is the first time that we're interacting.
So how is your comment about the training?
No, perfect. Like that's what I'm beginning to think if there is a DevOps, because you were talking about it yesterday. So far, so good. The classes have been nice. So, I heard you recommending to a lot of persons like, okay, if you're taking this, try to add the DevOps to it. So I was trying to find out if there was another option. That's why I was trying to ask the question.
Yes. Okay. Stay tuned. See you in DevOps then next week.
Thank you.
You get the updates. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's have one more interaction and then so that we'll get into the auto scaling feature. Suman Sharma, how are you? Suman? We cannot hear you. Check your auto connectivity. Bitrand. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing too? Yeah, so my question is, so the note, I mean, is it the Google Drive note SharePoint? Is it a point that has been shared out? So are we gonna be having access to that note all throughout, or is it gonna expire, at a point in time?
Yes, the record, as you said, the recordings are shared in the Google Drive. Okay.
Yes.
along with the notes. Did you make the payment of $16?
Yeah, I do have access to that. I'm just asking how long we're gonna have access to that Google Drive.
It's a lifetime access. Okay.
Just making sure.
Okay. Anything more? Are you clear with the technical concepts, what we are learning in day-to-day sessions?
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's time for you now?
Time zone?
Yes. What's your
Eastern.
current time, local time now?
Eastern time zone right now. So
Okay.
11:44.
Okay. Thank you. Let's proceed. Let's jump into the concept of auto scaling. Before getting into the auto scaling, let's have a quick recap of load balancer. Let's have a quick recap of what load balancer is doing. When the traffic increases, one EC2 machine cannot manage the complete traffic. Okay. So what we have done, we have created one more EC2 machine. You can have two EC2 machines, three EC2 machines, and then there's a load balancer component which will accept the traffic from the users. And load balancer is responsible for distributing the traffic to the targets. You can have two targets, you can have three targets. Okay. 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 So the job done by the load balancer is it accepts the incoming traffic and distribute the traffic to the targets. Very good. Assuming one EC2 machine can process 1,000 requests or 1,000 users. Let's say you are accessing facebook.com. You are one user. That means one EC2 machine can manage 1,000 concurrent users accessing the application. So if there are 1,500 users accessing the application, obviously one EC2 machine cannot manage 1,500 users. There comes the need for load balancer. So we have created load balancer, and we have altogether created a second EC2 machine. So obviously second EC2 machine also can process how many requests? Let's say second EC2 machines can also process 1,000 requests. So if there are 1,500 users accessing the load balancer, so 50% will be diverted to target one, 50% will be diverted to target two. That's fine. That's how your application will not go down. But the point is how to determine the correct number of EC2 machines behind the load balancer. In the last session, we have created two EC2 machines. I hope you remember. We have created two EC2 machines, and both the EC2 machines are attached to the load balancer. Fine. How to determine the correct number of EC2 machines to handle the traffic? Does the client should create two web servers? Should we create 3 web servers? Should we create 10 web servers? How to determine the number of web servers behind the load balancer? Obviously, the number of servers, should we have 2 servers, or should we go with 10 servers? Should we go with 20 servers? The number of servers is purely dependent on the traffic. When the traffic is more, you need more number of servers. When the traffic is less, you need less number of servers. But the point is, at any point of time, what is the ideal number of servers should be maintained by a application? Ideal number of servers cannot be static because the traffic is dynamic. You may never know traffic becomes double. Immediately what we say, we have to double our infrastructure, and you may never know when the traffic becomes low. When the traffic is low, there's no need for maintaining a number of instances. We should remove the instances to reduce the bill. So the right number of instances to be maintained behind the load balancer, the right number of web servers is not always static. It is dynamic because the traffic is dynamic. Should we maintain 10 servers? Should we maintain 5 servers? Should we maintain 100 servers? Obviously, that's purely dependent on the traffic. And you cannot expect the traffic. Traffic is dynamic at the same time. So how can we make the number of machines as static? It should also be dynamic. So the auto scaling feature, as the name suggests, auto scaling, when the traffic increases, Auto scaling, when the traffic increases, automatically the new EC2 machine will be created. Automatically the new EC2 machine gets created. And that new EC2 machine will be attached to the load balancer, and that will be ready to receive the traffic. But still, if the traffic is increasing, again, we can create a number of instances. There's no limitation. When the traffic is more and more increasing, we can increase the number of servers. At the same time, when the traffic is decreasing, we don't need to maintain those many number of servers. We remove the unnecessary servers. So automatically scaling the infrastructure based on the traffic. At the same time, automatically scaling down the infrastructure. Scaling down is nothing but removing the infrastructure because there is less number of traffic. So that can be possible by implementing a feature called as auto scaling. So let's look at the theory of auto scaling. What the theory says. Auto scaling helps you to ensure that you have correct number of instances available to handle the load. So how to determine the correct number of instances? It's very difficult to determine. You cannot say that the number of instances 10 is the right number of instances. It may be right, it may be more, it may be less. Okay, so auto scaling makes sure when you enable this auto scaling feature, it makes sure that you have correct number of instances always, which helps you to handle the load of the application. To handle the load for your application, you create a collection of instances called as auto scaling groups. We'll see that practically. What do you mean by the term called auto scaling groups? What you will mention is you will mention the minimum number of instances. We should mention the maximum number of instances. That's it. You will define the minimum number of instances. We define the maximum number of instances. We define the limits, minimum limit and maximum limit. The EC2 auto scaling feature ensures that the group will never go above the size or below the size. What you do is we define only the lower limit and upper limit. That's it. And the auto scaling feature makes sure that it never grow beyond the limits and make sure that the number of instances automatically gets created. At the same time, the number of instances automatically will be removed, obviously completely based on the traffic. So that is the auto scaling feature. So auto scaling feature, the advantage what the client gets. Advantage what the client gets when they enable auto fetching feature is that they make sure that always the right number of instances to handle the load so that their servers will not go down. So this is about the concept of auto scaling. I hope I'm very clear in explaining the feature or advantages of auto scaling. Any questions in understanding the concept of auto scaling? Please raise your hand. Any questions in understanding the advantages of, features of auto scaling? Please raise your hand. Sunanda Koduru. Yes, your question, please. I have clearly explained what exactly. Yes, Sunanda.
Hi, Sunil.
Yes.
Am I audible?
You are audible. Your question, please.
Yeah, I don't have doubt on auto scaling. I have doubt on bootstrap script.
Yes.
As you said, in real time, we have a big coding, right? That Linux commands and all, big data will be having, right? That time, how can I use that bash scripts?
Your scripts can be scripts can be any it can be more number of lines. Yes, last session what I have used is the bootstrap script, Sunanda. It's hardly 6 to 7 lines. Okay, if your script is 80 lines or 100 lines, doesn't matter. There's no limitation. All those gets executed. Okay.
Okay, so I don't need to use putty, right? Every time I can use.
In case if you use bootstrap scripts, you don't need to use putty.
Okay, so when can we use this bootstrap script? In real time, we don't need to use putty or?
Generally, in the real time, servers will not stop, Sunanda. Okay, so what we are doing, we are stopping and starting the instances. Whenever you start the instances, you want some scripts to be executed. In such case, we use bootstrap scripts. Okay, especially as per the client requirements, you have to define the bootstrap script so that you don't need to manually perform a regular configuration task. When there's some configuration tasks which are regular to specific clients, we do it in the bootstrap scripts. Okay, it's up to you. It's up to us whether how to use it and when to use it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions? I recommend questions related to auto scaling. Sheikh Osama. Yes, Sheikh. We cannot hear you. Sheikh. Vijay Deshmukh.
Yeah. Hi, Sunil.
Yes, Vijay.
We don't know how many exactly instances we can run. Maximum. How should we know? Suppose some Amazon is using the AWS cloud. So Amazon and Flipkart having their own services there. On Diwali festival or even Ganpati festival, a number of clients are coming on that servers. How we can define the maximum number of instances I2 scaling?
You're talking about the maximum number of instances, not the right number of instances. Am I right?
Yeah.
As per the concept, it's always we have to define the maximum number of instances because the finally client should bear the bill. Okay. Clients will have specific budgets for the infrastructure management to make sure that the bill what the client gets, to make sure that it is under the budget. We define the maximum number of instances. There's no limitation. Maximum number of instances, you can have it as 1,000. It doesn't matter. Okay, but you have to define the maximum size.
No, my question is also that one. The client should pay the suppose 5 instances billing, and they automatically the demand is increasing. At that moment, what will we do?
I already answered this question. Yes, Vijay, you said that the client is maintaining 5 servers. Okay.
Yeah. And suddenly
now the demand is increased. I mean, traffic is increased.
Yeah.
Now what should happen? Tell me. When the traffic increases, 5 servers cannot bear the load. The application goes down. To avoid the downtime, what should happen? Please tell me, Vijay.
Yeah, we need to increase their servers.
Yes, that should not be done manually. It should be automatic. Agree?
Yeah.
It's not manual intervention. It should be done automatically. The infrastructure should scale up automatically based on the traffic. Got it, Vijay?
Yeah.
That's what we are experiencing now in this session. Am I clear? One more interaction, Rohini.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
I have question regarding auto scaling only.
Yep.
If I got to know that maximum and minimum instances using the load balancer, how we are configuring,
okay.
But think like how we are going to achieve the resources. For example, one instance is having some T3 X large configuration. If you want to scale up to M4 or M4X large instances,
that means you want to change the instance type. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Rohini, your point is, let's say the current infrastructure is something T3 large or whatever it is. You want to change the instance type.
Correct.
Okay. But this auto scaling, it's not about changing the instance type. It's altogether creating a new EC2 machine. Okay, Rohini. So what you're talking is called vertical scaling. That means existing EC2 machine, you want to increase the RAM, you want to increase the hardware so that it can handle more load.
Correct.
That is called as vertical scaling. Auto scaling comes under horizontal scaling feature, wherein which we will not disturb the infrastructure of the existing servers. That is nothing but existing EC2 machines. Instead, what we do, we altogether create a new server. So a new server will again start receiving the traffic, Rohini. So your point is vertical scaling. Auto scaling comes under horizontal scaling. After this auto scaling, we will discuss about how exactly we can scale up the existing infrastructure rather than creating a new infrastructure. Okay.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much.
Anything more, Rohini?
That's it, sir.
Thank you. Let's move on. Let's implement the concept of auto scaling. To experience the concept of auto scaling, it's a 7-step process. It's a 7-step process. Step 1, we need to create load balancer. We already have learned in the last session. We have to create launch configuration. We will be introducing a new topic, a new service called a simple notification service, wherein which we'll be creating a new topic. And then we'll be creating auto scaling group. And then we'll be creating an alarm in the CloudWatch. And then we'll be adding policies in the auto scaling group. Every step is very, very important. Doing hands-on about auto scaling is very, very important. So let's go ahead and complete the step-by-step approach and the experience. In the interview, they ask you, how do you define your auto scaling? How do you implement auto scaling feature for your client? So you have to answer this step-by-step approach. They'll ask you, what do you mean by launch configuration? And what do you mean by policies? How do you define the policies? All these are very, very important. What is the importance of alarm in the CloudWatch? All this you should be able to project it in the interview. So let's go ahead and practically experience the step-by-step approach, which helps in implementing auto scaling feature for our client to handle the unexpected traffic. Step one, we have to create a load balancer. Step one, what we have to do, we have to create a load balancer. In the previous session, in the yesterday session, we have created EC2 machines first, and then we have created load balancer. Whereas in today's session, I am not creating EC2 machines. There are no EC2 machines as of now. I'm directly going ahead and creating load balancer. Step one, create load balancer. We log into AWS. The name of the load balancer is sample LB14. This is the name of the load balancer. I want to create a security group, sample SG14. I'll be opening two ports, SSH port and HTTP port, and we also know the load balancer configurations. Response timeout 2 seconds, interval 5 seconds, unhealthy threshold 2, healthy threshold 2. I don't need to explain this. We already know this, the load balancer configurations. And then let's go ahead and create load balancer in no time. Services, EC2, instances. There are some existing instances. Please do not worry about the existing instances. Right now, please take a note. We are in Mumbai location. The first step, what I am doing is I'm creating a load balancer. How to create a load balancer? We already know that. Go to load balancing. Under that, we have a concept called load balancer. Right now, you do not have any load balancers. Let's go ahead and create a new load balancer. This will be a classic load balancer because we are handling the load for our web servers. The name of the load balancer is sample LB14. Next. I want to create a new security group. The name of the security group is sample SG14. Name can be anything. I hope you know the importance of security group. Security group is all about dealing with ports. I want to open two ports, SSH port and HTTP port. Anybody in the world can connect using these two ports. Click on next. Click on next, configure a health check. Response timeout 2, interval is every 5 seconds. Healthy threshold 2, unhealthy threshold 2. Next, add EC2 instances. We are not adding any EC2 instances. In fact, all the EC2 instances are stopped. We are going ahead and creating the EC2 machine first. I don't want any tags. Review the details. Yes, I'm done with creating a load balancer. Step 1 is done. It is pretty simple. We already have discussed in the previous session. You can see the load balancer which we have created. This is the name of the load balancer, sample LB14. Yes. Next. Next step we need to understand. Next step is to create launch configuration. Step 1, we are done with creating load balancer. Now we are creating launch configuration. First step, we have to understand what do you mean by launch configuration? What do you mean by launch configuration? Okay, look at this. Rohini, can we have a talk to understand the concept of launch configuration? Is that fine? Okay. Assuming the current infrastructure, Rohini, is we have a load balancer and we have two servers connected to the load balancer. This is existing infrastructure. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
When the traffic increases, if the existing infrastructure is unable to manage the traffic, the concept says that the new EC2 machine should be created automatically. Agree?
Okay.
Without human intervention, the EC2 machine should be created automatically. Am I right, Rohini?
Exactly, sir.
When you say that the EC2 machine should be created automatically, the points which you need to think about is the new EC2 machine should create automatically. When a machine should create automatically, what should be the RAM of that EC2 machine? What should be the hard disk of that particular EC2 machine? What should be the operating system that should be in the EC2 machine which creates automatically? Is it a Linux operating system? Is it a Red Hat Linux? Is it a SUSE Linux? What should be the operating system in that particular new EC2 machine? What port needs to be opened in for that particular new EC2 machine?
Okay.
What is the hardware configuration? Isn't it? It should be dynamic, isn't it? If it is static, Rohini, we will be connecting it and we will be defining it by using the 7-step wizard. So the machine gets created. That's manual creation. But here, the feature says that the infrastructure should be created automatically. When you say that the infrastructure should be created automatically, what should be the RAM of the EC2 machine? What should be the hard disk of the EC2? What should be the operating system? What port needs to be opened? Is it a normal Linux operating system, or you need any additional softwares to be installed in that particular EC2 machine? So all these details, you have to define it in launch configuration. Okay. So all these details, we have to mention it in launch configuration. As per the details what you mentioned in the launch configuration, the infrastructure gets created. Okay, so you need to provide the configuration info file. It helps in launching. This configuration information is helping us in launching the infrastructure automatically. Clear? So launch configuration is all about defining your EC2 machine. So what EC2 machine should be created? What should be the RAM of that EC2 machine? What should be the operating system of that particular EC2 machine? Okay, what port needs to be opened? Is it an empty Linux, or you need to have any additional softwares to be installed? So all this we have to define it in launch configuration. Clear, Rohini, the importance of launch configuration?
Yes, sir. One question I have here, like what about the security group we are going to use it here?
So obviously, as per our concept, it should open SSH port and HTTP port, because it should be available through the browser, isn't it? So that ports also we define it in the launch configuration. Okay. What
security group which we provide, like
yes,
existing security group and the new security group, does it creates a new security group?
We'll experience now.
Yeah.
Once we start creating launch configuration, you'll understand what about the ports and what about the security group. Clear, Rohini?
Got it.
So shall we proceed and go ahead and create a new launch configuration? Okay. The name of the launch configuration which I am planning to create is sample LCG, stands for launch configuration 14 with today's date. This is the name of the launch configuration. Launch configuration name can be anything. And isn't it, Rohini? AMI is nothing but the operating system. Agree? So I want this particular operating system. This operating system is nothing but a Linux operating system. So I want to use this particular AMI, and then I am clearly mentioning that the type of instance will be T2 micro. This means the new EC2 machine that gets created will be of 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. Agree?
Agree.
And then it should be not an empty Linux. It should be a web package needs to be installed. Agree or not? Because it should deliver the web pages. So in the bootstrap scripts, I pass on this information so that the machine gets created. Immediately the web server will be installed and the web page gets created. Got it?
Yeah, that's a better idea.
And then you are talking about the ports needs to open. You can select an existing security group. Existing security group, we already have created one security group which is opening, which is already having SSH and HTTP port open. Agree? So that security group I'm using here in the launch configuration. I hope your doubt is clear.
Exactly. Thank you. And one question regarding this AMI.
Amazon Mission Image. Yeah.
Exactly. This image can differ, and any image we can fetch it.
You are right.
For Windows.
Okay. Let's say if you want a Windows machine, you go for Windows AMI. So I'm using this particular AMI. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Before using this AMI, let's look at what this AMI says. Okay. So this is an Linux AMI. Okay, Amazon Linux AMI, which I'm using here. Okay, so that AMI I'm using here for this particular example. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So let's go ahead. Shall we go ahead and create launch configuration? So let's proceed.
Sure.
Under auto scaling, we have an option called launch configurations. Right now, there are no launch configurations found in this particular region. I'm going ahead and creating a new launch configuration. The name of the launch configuration is sample LCG 14. The AMI is nothing but the operating system. We already have defined that I want to use this particular AMI. That is, this AMI is related to Amazon Linux. So I can search for this AMI and I can get this AMI. And this new instances which creates automatically should be of type T2 micro. If you want, you can go for higher configurations. It's up to you. Next. And under additional configurations, under advanced details. So what I provide the bootstrap scripts, which makes that particular machine as a web server, isn't it, Rohini?
Yeah.
And then security groups. Okay. I'm selecting an existing security group. The name of the security group we already have created is sample SG14. You can pick up the text.
So, sir, is that possible to give the existing EMI image? For example, I have S3 buckets with me. I want to create a similar bucket, a similar instance for the load balancer. Is that possible?
Similar instance or similar instance of the previous infrastructure, right?
Correct.
Your question is already 2 web servers are up and running. The third web server should be similar to the previous 2 web servers, same operating system, same configuration, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Is that your question? In fact, auto scaling feature says that all the configuration should be homogeneous. That means it should be same. All the infrastructure that gets created with respect to auto scaling should be homogeneous. In fact, we have not created any EC2 machines, isn't it?
Exactly.
Agree?
Yeah.
So the minimum number of instances, the moment you mention it, automatically it creates a new instances. So all the instances should be of same configuration only. That's recommended as per documentation.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Perfect. So I'm selecting the existing security group. I think we are done. And I am creating a new key pair. Okay. In case if I want to connect to that particular EC2 machines that gets created automatically, I can connect to that particular EC2 machines using that particular key pair. Okay. And I'm downloading the key pair in my desktop. Sunil AWS. I'm downloading the key pair. And I create launch configuration.
We can use existing key pair also, right?
You can also use an existing key pair, not a problem. Okay. We are done with creating launch configuration. Okay. So in the launch configuration, we have clearly mentioned that my operating system should be Linux operating system, and my instance configuration should be T2 micro instance, which comes with the 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. And I want to install this additional software the moment EC2 machine gets created, and that port needs to be opened. So the complete infrastructure, the complete information I have provided to the launch configuration. So AWS uses this information present in the launch configuration, which helps you to launch the instances automatically. Clear, Rohini?
Correct, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next point, step 3. We have to create topic in SNS. Point 1, SNS stands for Simple Notification Service. Right from day one, we are learning only one service called as EC2. This is the first time we are moving ahead to one more service called as SNS. Stands for Simple Notification Service. What is the feature? What is the advantage of SNS? What is the job done by this particular service called a Simple Notification Service? Okay, look at this. When the traffic increases, the new EC2 machine will be created automatically. Fine, we got it. We got that. It happens automatically. When the traffic increases, the new EC2 machine gets created automatically at any point of time. It could be midnight or any point of time. When the traffic increases, the information, the EC2 machine will be created automatically. But as an AWS team of your client, you should know when the EC2 machine is created automatically. You should get a notification. I should get an email from AWS saying that at so and so midnight to 12 o'clock, the EC2 machine has been created automatically. So I should get the information. I should know, even though it's automatic, as an AWS team, when you're handling the infrastructure to your client, your team should know, your employees, your AWS team members should know that the so and so machines are created automatically, so and so machines are removed automatically at specific point of time. You should receive notifications. Otherwise, if you're not receiving notifications, you will be unaware of what's happening in the background. Everything is automatic, good, but you should know what's going on. We should receive a notifications from AWS. Your notification is nothing but information. Agree or not? I'm sending notification 1 hour before the schedule saying that we are starting auto scaling. That's a notification. I'm sending it to the WhatsApp group. In the same way, AWS should send a notification to your email address of the person who is an AWS engineer saying that at so and so time the infrastructure got created, the EC2 machine has been created at a specific time. How can we receive notifications from AMS? By using a service called a simple notification service. So simple notification service helps for communication about the infrastructure getting created or infrastructure getting removed automatically to the AWS team. So that can be possible by using simple notification service. So I am now introducing you a new service called a simple notification service. In simple notification service, what I do is I create a topic. And I add email addresses to the topic. Okay, so let's experience. So don't worry, we'll see practically how exactly we receive notifications from AWS when anything happens automatically. So let's go ahead and move on to service called a simple notification service. Under services, under application integration, we have simple notification service. Services. Under application integration, we have a service called a simple notification service. I'm opening in a new tab. So this is a simple notification service dashboard looks like. Go to topics. Right now, there are no topics. First step, what I need to do is to create a topic. Let's say if a client is managing 10 resources for their infrastructure. If a client is recruited 10 resources to manage the infrastructure, all the 10 employees should know that the EC2 machine has been created automatically. So how does communication happens to all the 10 employees? So step one, what we need to do is to create a topic. Okay, and then add the email addresses to the topic. It's same like you can visualize as a WhatsApp group. So if I want to send communication to you, what I'm doing, I'm creating a group and I'm adding mobile numbers to the group. In the same way, here we will be creating topics. Okay, so first step, let's create a topic. Topic name can be anything. Go for standard type of communication. There are two types. Go for standard. I'm creating a topic with the name my topic 1. Display name I want to maintain the same. That's it. Create topic. Topic is created. As simple as that. Topic is something like a group. And then right now, how many subscriptions? There are no subscriptions. So if you want the communication to 2 employees, if you want communication to happen to all the 10 employees, you can add subscriptions. Okay, so subscriptions are nothing but email addresses. We'll be adding subscriptions to the topic. Right now, we have just created a topic. The name of the topic is my topic 1. Now I am adding subscriptions to my topic. Create subscription. And how do you want communication to happen? A simple notification service can send you SMS when the EC2 machine gets created. It can send you an email. There are different protocols. So I go with generally used one is the email configuration. So I go for protocol as email. If it is in email, you need to provide email address. If it is SMS, you need to provide the mobile number. So I provide my email address. Create subscription. So I have successfully created a subscription inside the topic. You can see that the name of the topic is my topic 1. In this topic, how many subscriptions? 1 subscription. That is 1 email address. You can also add a number of email addresses to this particular topic. And the subscription is pending confirmation. As I should agree. I will get an email and I should agree that I am ready to receive emails from AWS. So let me log into my Gmail account. Can you see AWS subscription confirmation? You get it. And yes, I say that I am agreed to receive notifications from AWS. I have confirmed my subscription. So as I have confirmed my subscription, now you can see here, previously it was pending confirmation. When you click on refresh, Now subscription has been confirmed. Okay. So I have created a topic and I have added email addresses to the topic. This is about notification service. How to use this notification service, we'll do it in the next steps. We have created a topic. We have added one subscription to the topic. That's it. This particular topic, we'll do it in the next coming sessions. Rohini, as per auto scaling feature, we should mention we should mention the minimum limit, okay, and the maximum limit. So this is mandatory. Okay, minimum number. If there is zero traffic also, how many number of instances you want to maintain? That's called minimum number of instances. And you also should provide a maximum number of instances. So that's all important. So where should we mention the minimum limit? Where should we mention the maximum limit? All this we do it in the auto scaling group. We'll do it in the auto scaling group. I want to create an auto scaling group.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the auto scaling group is sample ASG14. This is the name of the auto scaling group. You need to provide a subnet. Subnet is nothing but in Mumbai region. Mumbai region is divided into 3 partitions.
Mm-hmm.
The Mumbai region, which we are using every day, is divided into 3 partitions. These partitions are called as subnet. You can select any subnet, doesn't make any difference. We'll discuss more about subnet when we are learning about the concept of VPC. As of now, I am selecting one partition, that is AP South 1A. And obviously attached to existing load balancer, you have to select the load balancer. And then you need to provide the minimum limit as well as maximum limit. Okay. According to that, the infrastructure gets created. Okay. So let's proceed.
One question on the step 2 I have, sir, regarding
Yes.
the subnet. If you are creating the in the down, not on the step 3, step 4, in the down, not creating the SNS, here, creating the auto scaling group. So when we create a subnet, when we select the subnet, it should be in the same subnet, right? In the same region. All the servers should be in the same region.
Same region. You are right. Okay.
So if you want to provide the different region,
it's not possible. The infrastructure on auto scaling should be on the same local to region. Okay.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
Okay. It's always local to the data center. So shall we go ahead and create an auto scaling group, Rohini? Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
So how to create auto scaling group? First, you already have created launch configuration. Let's come back to the launch configuration. Select the launch configuration, go to actions, and here we have an option of create auto scaling group.
Mm-hmm.
Group name. Based on this particular launch configuration. Perfect.
Okay.
Next. Where do you want that EC2 machines to be created? In Mumbai region only. Mumbai region is having 3 partitions, subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3. Okay. So I'm selecting first subnet. It doesn't make any difference. You can select any subnet. Next. Attached to existing load balancer. Obviously, the EC2 machine should be attached to the load balancer. So I go for attached to existing load balancer.
Mm-hmm.
Choose from the classic load balancer. I have selected the existing load balancer. Next. Desired capacity, minimum capacity, maximum capacity. Okay, desired capacity is nothing but to start with how many instances you want to start with, 4 instances. Okay, minimum capacity. So if the traffic is 0, how many instances you want to maintain? Even the traffic is 0, I want to maintain 4 instances. Maximum capacity, I mentioned maximum capacity as something like, let's say 20 instances. Okay, so that means even though the traffic is heavy, your number of instances will not go beyond 20. As per the concept, you have to provide the minimum limit and maximum limit. The desired capacity is nothing but to start with, it will be 4 instances. When the traffic is 0, also it will maintain minimum of 4 instances, and the number of instances now is 20. Clear, Rohini, about the desired capacity, minimum capacity, and maximum capacity. As we have provided the desired capacity of 4, the moment we complete this step, automatically 4 machines will be up and running.
One question on this maximum capacity. What will the maximum capacity for this value for this maximum?
How to determine the maximum capacity?
Exactly.
When a client moves to AWS, the first thing what we will do is we will study the existing infrastructure what the client is using. Okay. Generally, clients moves from their on-premises data centers to AWS. Okay. In their on-premises data center, we look at the historical information. We check what is the maximum traffic we have experienced till now. We get that report. According to that report, you can define the maximum limit. It doesn't matter. To be safety, we will always provide maximum number of instances as more than is double the existing infrastructure, double the maximum record of traffic what we have received till date. According to that, we maintain the maximum capacity. Okay. So to do that, I'm starting with maximum capacity as 20. Okay.
Okay, sir.
The minimum is 4. What do you mean by minimum? If there is zero traffic for your web server or for your application, but still the number of instances it will maintain is 4. Next. Add notifications. Rohini, do you remember we have created a topic?
Yes, sir.
The name of the topic was My Topic 1. Can you see the name of the topic was My Topic 1? That topic I'll be adding it here. Can you see here SNS topic? That
Yes.
topic I'll be adding it here. That means whenever the infrastructure gets created, I will get information to my email.
Okay.
Tags are nothing but the naming the instances. Whenever the infrastructure gets created, you want to provide a name to the instance. I will provide a tag and key as I write it as name, and the server I write it as my web server. Server name can be anything. Next. Okay, review the details and go ahead and create auto scaling group. So auto scaling group is all about defining the minimum number of instances, define the maximum number of instances. That's more important point in the auto scaling group. I'm going ahead and create a auto scaling group.
Okay.
Name of the auto scaling group is sample ASG 14. It's updating the capacity. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So only a new infrastructure get created.
1 minute, please. Now we'll go to the EC2 instances. By this time, it should create 4 instances.
I think status is still updating the capacity.
Yes. Can you see here? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rohini,
Yes,
4 machines are getting
Created.
created. And these 4 machines will be attached to the classic load balancer, which we already created. So the minimum infrastructure getting created automatically. Okay. That's what is happening in the background. Am I right, Rohini? As you have mentioned, the minimum number of instances as 4. The 4 instances you have experienced they are in still running state. Agree?
Agree, sir.
Let's wait. The name of the servers are also my web server because this is the tag which I have provided. Agree?
Yes.
Perfect. Quick recap, whatever we have done it. Step 1, what we have done is we have created a load balancer. That is always important. That's always mandatory. Step 1, we have created load balancer. Next, step 2, what we have done, we have created launch configuration. In the launch configuration, you have clearly mentioned that the machine should be T2 micro instances, and then you have mentioned the AMI, the what should be the operating system. You have mentioned the security group, what port needs to be open. So all this information you have provided in the launch configuration. Next, what you have done, you have created a simple notification service. You have created a topic. It's all about receiving an email saying that the infrastructure got created. That's about topic. Next, in the auto scaling group, you have provided the minimum number of instances and you have provided the maximum number of instances. According to that, now the infrastructure gets getting created. I think let's filter. You can filter and look at only the machines which are in running state. I don't want to see the machines which are stopped state. I want only the machines which are in running state. You can see there are 4 machines which are in running state, and all the 4 machines will be attached to the load balancer. Okay.
Got it.
Perfect. Next, let's proceed. Okay. Next, one more information. Rohini, as of now, the infrastructure is we have 4 web servers. All the 4 web servers are connected to the
Load balancer.
load balancer. Okay. Now tell me when the 5th machine will be created.
When the load is like exceeded.
When the traffic increases. Agree?
Yeah, agree.
The 5th, right now there are 4 instances, 4 machines. When the 5th machine gets created, 5th machine gets created when the traffic increases. Okay, good.
Okay.
But how do you measure the traffic?
Correct.
It's very important. The metric which is used in the real time, so that the 5th machine gets created. So right now the 4 machines, fine, because the minimum number of instances you have mentioned as 4 will be running, no doubt on that. The point is how to define the condition. You have to write some condition so that the 5th machine gets created. So how to determine the condition? That is possible using a service called as CloudWatch. Now I am introducing you one more service in this example called as CloudWatch. In the CloudWatch, I'll be creating alarm. Okay, alarm is something like a condition, isn't it, Rohini? Alarm is, you can understand, alarm is something like a condition. I will be creating 2 alarms.
Okay.
I'll be creating 2 alarms. The name of the alarm is alarm 1, alarm 2. I'll be creating 2 alarms. You may have a question, why are you creating 2 alarms? So I'll answer you. So first step, what I'm doing, I'm creating 2 alarms. If you want to create alarm, you will be using, you have to use a service called as CloudWatch. Okay.
Okay.
Next, coming back to the concept, when the 5th machine should be created. 5th machine should be created when the existing 4 machines are unable to manage the traffic. Agree?
Correct. Yes, sir.
5th machine, technically 5th machine should be created when the existing 4 machines are unable to handle the load. Okay. So how do you measure the existing load of the infrastructure? Okay, that is possible by using a metric called as CPU utilization. Okay, obviously when the existing 4 machines are busy, obviously CPU utilization will become, CPU percentage becomes very, very busy.
Correct.
Agree or not? Every machine will have CPU utilization. Even I can also monitor my CPU utilization. You can see here my laptop under task manager. Can you see CPU? It is 95% or 86%. Right now my CPU is used vast extensively. You can see here 60%. That's the CPU utilization. So when the existing web servers are busy, obviously the CPU will be more consumption. Agree? So look at my condition. When the CPU utilization of the existing 4 instances is more than 70%, then I want to go ahead and create a 5th machine. Did you understand? So this condition we define it in alarm. Okay, so got it? So Rohini, am I clear the importance of alarm and when should we, how do you measure the traffic so that the action happens, that is 5th machine happens? That metric we follow, what we follow in the real time is CPU utilization. Okay, so let's go ahead and create an alarm here. For creating alarm under services, under management and governance, we have a service called as CloudWatch. Services, under management and governance, we have a service called as CloudWatch.
Okay.
So this is the CloudWatch dashboard looks like. Go to alarms. Right now, how many alarms are there? We don't have any alarms. We are going ahead and creating a new alarm. Okay, look at this. Let's wait for the auto scaling. Is it created? The minimum number of instances, I think we have mentioned it as 4. I just want to reconfirm. I think the servers are created, and coming to the auto scaling group. Rohini, previously it was updating the capacity. Now it is clearly defined that the number of instances as 4, desired is 4, minimum is 4 clearly. Okay, maximum is 20. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
everything is clear. The auto scaling group has been successfully created. What is the name of the auto scaling group? Sample ASG 14 is the name of the auto scaling group.
Correct.
Next, go to alarm, create alarm, select metric based on the EC2 service.
Okay.
Based on the auto scaling feature. And you have to select your auto scaling group, sample ASG 14, and then the metric should be CPU utilization. The CPU utilization of this auto scaling group. Got it, Rohini?
Yes, sir.
Select the metric. Now define the condition. The metric name is CPU utilization. When the average CPU utilization is continuously for a period of 5 minutes is greater than the value we have greater than, less than, or greater than or equal to. When the greater than, here you have to define the percentage as 70. Okay. When the average CPU utilization of this auto scaling group is nothing but the 4 instances consecutively for a period of 5 minutes. If it is busy by 70%, click on next. Click on next. Okay, so I don't want I just mention it as okay and then click on next. I'm sorry. Fine. I want to add a notification. I'm adding it as my topic 1. That's it.
Okay.
Next. Alarm name. Alarm 1. Next. Review the details. This is the condition. If it is greater than 70%. Okay. So I'm creating one alarm.
Okay.
You have successfully created an alarm. You can see the alarms which you have created. All alarms. You can see this is the alarm which is created. Okay. Next. Can you guess what is the need for second alarm?
No, sir.
When the CPU utilization is less than 30%, existing average infrastructure is less than 30%. That means when the traffic is less.
Okay. Yeah.
We have to remove the instance, right? Whatever the 5 instances. So you want to remove the instances. Okay. One alarm for increasing the number of instances. At the same time, when the traffic decreases, we don't want to maintain those many number of instances because unnecessarily client will get the bill. To avoid the bill, what we'll do, we will be removing the instances. Second alarm, the condition when the CPU utilization is less than 30%. Okay, clear. One alarm for increasing the number of machines, one alarm for decreasing the number of machines. Got it, Rohini?
Yes, sir.
So one more alarm. Select metric based on the service EC2, based on the concept of auto scaling. You can see the auto scaling group ASG 14. The name of the metric is CPU utilization. Next. When the average CPU utilization is less than or equal to, here I mention it as 30%, that is refers to percentage. Next, I should receive a notification saying that the condition is true, and then I will go ahead and click on next, and I will create one more alarm, ALARM2. So alarm is all about defining the conditions. I hope I'm very clear why should we create an alarm. Am I right, Rohini?
Yes. Yeah, I had this question, like when we, if we are like overutilized or like less utilized, are we going to get the messages and the bill?
Yes, we will get the messages also because we are adding the topic, isn't it? And then we will also get the notification also about the CPU utilization. So that's fine. We have created 2 alarms. Okay, next point. So we are done with step 5. Now you need to add policies. You need to add policy in the auto scaling group. What do you mean by policy? Okay. We'll be adding 2 policies. policy 1, policy 2. I'll be creating 2 policies. First point, how to create policies. In the auto scaling group which you have created, this is the auto scaling group which we have created. Go to automatic scaling tab, and then we have an option of add policy. Automatic scaling tab, we have an option of create dynamic policy.
Okay.
Policy type, simple scaling. What do you mean by policy? I'll explain. Alarm is all about condition, Rohini. Okay. We have just mentioned the condition. Policy is all about action. Policy is all about action. You want to do it. I'll give a simple example. I daily want to wake up at morning 5 o'clock. So what I'll do, I'll create an alarm. Okay, I will add an alarm to my mobile at say morning 5 o'clock. So when the condition is true, when the time is morning 5 o'clock, the alarm rings. But the action, what I do is I wake up. Alarm is different, action is different. Alarm is nothing but just defining the condition. And when the condition is true, what you want to do, that's action. We mention it in policy. So I am creating a new policy. The name of the policy can be anything. I'm writing the policy as policy 1. Okay. This policy 1, I am linking to alarm. How many alarms we have created?
2 alarms.
You can see the 2 alarms which you have created, alarm 1 and alarm 2. Am I right, Rohini?
Yes,
I
sir.
am creating one policy. I'm linking the policy to alarm 1. What is alarm 1 condition? When the CPU utilization is more than 70%. Then what action you want to add? I want to add how many units? I want to add 1 machine, or you want to add 2 machines. How many machines you want to add? That's called as an action.
Okay.
Take action. Take action is nothing but adding the number of units. I want to add 1 unit. Click on create. I am done with creating one policy. What's the name of the policy? Policy 1. Similarly, I will be creating one more policy, and I link this policy to the second alarm.
Okay.
Again, we have create dynamic policy. Policy type should be simple scaling. Policy name can be anything. What's the name of the policy I'm writing? Policy 2. I'm linking the policy to
Alarm 2.
Second alarm. Second alarm condition, you can see when the CPU utilization is less than 30%. What action you want to do? I want to remove the instances. How many instances you want to remove? 1 instance you want to remove. Got it? And click on create. So I hope, Rohini, you have understood the difference between alarm and policies.
Yes, sir. I have one question in this. Initially, we will be having 4 instances. When we create it, next it will be created, like, for example, it will be created another 5 instances.
No. And initially, there will be 4 instances. Okay.
Correct. Yes,
and
sir.
the 4 instances will be attached to the load balancer, and the application is live. Okay.
Correct.
Next, when the traffic increases, what should happen? Tell me.
One more instance will be
5th machine will be created.
Yeah.
When the 5th machine gets created, we have defined the condition. When the CPU utilization is more than 70%. When the condition is true, this alarm will be triggered, and this alarm is linked to the policy. In this policy, you have clearly mentioned the action, what you want to do. Add 1 more unit. That means 5th machine will be created.
Okay. It will check the overall CPU utilization.
Average CPU utilization of existing infrastructure. Okay. That's why I have mentioned it as average. In the metric, I have mentioned it as average. Okay. Now, when the 6th machine will be created?
Overall CPU
average 5 machines is more than 70%, then 6th machine will be created. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So like this, in the same time, when the EC2 machine will be removed, the average CPU utilization is less than 30%. That means you understood that there's no traffic. When there's no traffic, there's no need for maintaining those many number of instances. Automatically, the removed number of instances. So what's happening finally is, using A2 scaling feature, your client will always make sure that there are the right number of instances to handle the right load. Got it? So do you think it is important, Rohini?
Yes, this is very important.
Very important and very frequently asked question. In case in the interview ask you about auto scaling, you have to clearly project this step-by-step approach. Okay. And using the terminologies, my dear friends, using the terminologies, using a Terminologies is very, very important. You have to just, you have to use this proper terminology called launch configuration. You should explain what information we need to provide. We should explain about the concept of topic. You have to explain about auto scaling group. Auto scaling group is all about providing the minimum number of instances and maximum number of instances. You have to explain about alarm. What is the alarm? You have to clearly explain about policies. Why should we all policies? So all this will help you to go ahead and create a, make sure that you maintain the right number of instructions. Okay. Now, Rohini, right now, how many servers are there?
4.
4. Now, when the 5th machine will be created?
Overall CPU utilization is greater than
70%, but we cannot increase the CPU utilization, isn't it? It cannot be done. I cannot show you practically 5th machine getting created because we cannot increase the
manually
traffic. Agree? So that's impossible. But practically, in the real time, what happens? The 5th machine gets created when the traffic increases. Okay. Thank you, Rohini. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, sir.
Clear about the topics and the step-by-step process what we have followed for today's session. Any questions on today's topic, please raise your hand. Ronak.
Hello.
Yes, Ronak.
So this auto scaling basically would it be used only for application servers or for database servers as well?
Not for database servers. It is generally used for application servers and web servers, Ronak. The database server, how exactly handles the traffic, that is different. When we learn about the service called as RDS, we have a special service called relational database service. In that particular service, how do you handle when the traffic increases at the database level? That's a different database layer. This is only for the web server or application servers, Ronak.
Okay, thank you. And another question is it possible that we can monitor the network traffic, like
yes.
Sessions?
You can also monitor at any point of time the metrics like network traffic, CPU utilization, okay, by using the monitoring tab of the EC2 machines. Okay, so whenever you want to check individual EC2 machine, you want to know the network utilization or the memory utilization, whatever it is. Okay, you can select that particular machine. There's a tab called monitoring tab. I will discuss more in detail about monitoring tab. This is nothing but a CloudWatch service, what we have just discussed. Okay, we have an exclusive discussion about CloudWatch where we'll learn how can we monitor the EC2 machines. Okay, at any point of time, you can get the report of memory utilization, CPU utilization, network packets, how many read operations, write operations, how much data is coming in, how much data is going out. The complete report we can get it using CloudWatch. We'll have an exclusive discussion about CloudWatch service later.
Yes. So actually, my question is regarding, let's say, e-commerce website, let's say Amazon or Flipkart, anything.
Yes.
So certain days, like let's say selling. So when they have sales, definitely their number of sessions or number of users increased. So in that case, how do we monitor that sessions or network traffic based on that?
No, first point. These are the features which are helping you to make that particular unexpected traffic to be handled. Okay, especially when applications like Amazon or Flipkart will do a lot of marketing that they are starting a sale, let's say New Year sale or year-ending sale on December 21st or December 31st or something like that. You will get an unexpected traffic, isn't it, Rohana? Okay, to handle that unexpected traffic, we use all these features. Okay, this is specially used for handling those kind of unexpected traffic so that the application will not go down. The moment application is down, there's loss for the business, isn't it, Ronak? Okay, so these features are used to, obviously the main advantage of auto scaling is to handle unexpected traffic because the traffic is dynamic. So we want to infrastructure should also be created dynamically according to the traffic.
So then the next continuing question, like there are different regions like e-commerce websites. So why I'm just taking this because I just want...
You're talking about different regions.
Yes. So like
what do you mean by region?
So let's say in India, Flipkart has one sale. At the same time, Flipkart doesn't have sale in another regions like US or Canada or London region. So in that case, how we can define that auto scaling, that if that load increases in particular region, then it will increase the number
this
of...
auto scaling is region specific, Ronak. Okay. This auto scaling what we have implemented is region specific. Multinational clients will have auto scaling implemented in multiple regions. Got it? Okay. Facebook has auto scaling is local to India. Facebook is having auto scaling to US. It's local to region. So at region level, it is handled. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Anything more, Ronak?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Vijaya Saradi. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, Vijaya.
Sunil, very good morning. And after that auto scaling configuration policy also, is there any way to creation auto policy? Then we need to
policy. We have to create it upfront. Okay. Okay. So when do you want? How many missions you want to add? It is you want to add 1 mission? You want to add 5 missions at a stretch? So that we can. It's not automatic. You have to manually define the policies according to the policy. It gets implemented at the live. Clear,
that,
Vijay?
Yeah. That means we need to
define the policies. Yes.
Okay.
Clear. How is today's session?
Yeah, it's fine. Yesterday I was unable to join the session.
Please be regular. Okay. So
yeah,
you get the best of the training only when you are regular. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So in case if you miss it, go with the recordings. You have to pay, as you know. You have to pay and get the recordings, and you can access it and you can get ready for the next session. In case if you miss it, Vijay.
Sure.
Okay?
Surely. Yeah.
Hello, Faisal. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, Smith. Good morning.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Like,
yes.
I was waiting for my turn to ask some questions.
Yes, Faisal.
Yeah, so I am having just one question. So can we go to the diagram, the paint one? Yeah. So here, right, in the alarm one, right, we have initialized like the CPU percentage is 70%, and we will be then creating one new instance. So my condition here is like, for example, if the like the traffic increases just for a very small span of time, like it's just a spike. So, and it again goes down. So in alarm one, can we control the CPU percentage based on the time, like for this particular time? If that
in our example, what is the consecutive period? 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
If you have to look at the recording, the consecutive period is 5 minutes. Instead of 5 minutes, you mention it as 1 minute. Okay. When the traffic increases within a minute, automatically the policy gets increased and then we can add it. Okay.
Okay.
Clear, Faisal? Okay.
Yes.
The time limit also you can define it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything more?
Yeah, no. And thank you
from
for
which
the
location?
good session. Like I'm from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh.
How many years of experience you're having?
4 years.
On which platform?
I'm a like backend developer working on Java and microservices.
Okay.
And
so you know AWS first, or you know AWS,
like,
or you're learning for the first time?
Like I have worked little bit on the AWS. Like my team has worked, but specifically I have not got any hands-on on that. So just looking out to learn more onto this as a part of the like development. Like
I hope now you're understanding how exactly your team manages their infrastructure. Okay.
Yes.
You can visualize your infrastructure team, how exactly is managing. Okay. Yeah.
I have one more request for you. Like I'm looking forward to do the AWS certified developer certification. Will this help me to accomplish that?
No, this training will help you to accomplish AWS certified solutions architect associate level, not the developer. Okay.
So for that we have different trainings.
70% syllabus is the same. 30% you have to learn few more services, 2 to 3 services more than this. Okay, Faisal.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Next, deletion process is also important. So after practicing, don't directly sign out. You have to follow the deletion process. Let's learn. Let's first delete auto scaling group. Let's wait for the auto scaling group to be deleted. Next step, what you need to do is to delete launch configuration. Good morning, Kamal. How are you doing?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing good. So it's a nice session now. So first of all, I want to appreciate you So my question is coming to the question regarding the auto scaling. When the CPU percentage is low, based on the condition 30%, so how many instances get deleted?
Okay, we have clearly mentioned the number of units as 1 in the policy. As we have mentioned number of units as 1, so 1 unit will be deleted. If you mention more number of units will be deleted.
Okay.
It's up to us. It's in our control when how many machines you want to remove or how many machines you want to add.
So based on the configuration, it would be deleted.
Exactly, right? You're right.
And another question, not related to this one. I would like to go for the certification in this month. So in the beginning of the session, you mentioned that this is not the right time to go for the certification. So probably next month, right?
You're right.
Can you please throw some thoughts on that?
You want? I mean, I recommend you to go for next month. Is that okay? Can you wait for 1 month more?
No,
or you are in any urgency?
Yes. It's in urgency. Yeah.
Okay, Kamal, ping me mail me.
Okay.
You have my email address. I hope you know it, isn't it? support@logiclabstech.com, Kamal.
Sure. Thank you.
Mail me and mention that you're looking for certification proxy support. Okay, our team will respond to you with a concerned person number. You can speak to him directly and then you can proceed according to him. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
You're from which location and how many years of experience, Kamal?
I have 15% of IT experience. I work in PeopleSoft and now SAP S/4HANA. So
okay.
I'm looking forward for the AWS. So this is my overall IT experience.
Okay, SAP HANA, very good experience you're having. Okay.
Yes, I work in both the technical.
Do you know there was a contract signed between SAP and AWS, and in case if the SAP client wants to migrate to cloud, the preferred cloud will be AWS. Okay. Did you get that information?
No, I didn't get the information.
You can see, look at this.
Oh, really good.
SAP on AWS. Okay. Just 3 months back, there was a contract agreed. Okay. So 5,000 customers are trusting on AWS and the on-premises clients. Okay. So I hope you know SAP clients manage their infrastructure on premises. Okay. They outsource their hardware configurations. Now they can go on with the AWS cloud. Okay. So especially as you are from HANA, having the skill sets in your profile will add value.
Okay. To follow up with other question, if you permit, I have another question.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, I have a bit confusion which one I have to go for, either AWS cloud or Azure. This is first question. And second question, should I go for the admin or the developer? Because I come from technical from the starting of the career, now into the functional. So I have bit confusion which one I have to choose.
Okay. I cannot comment on AWS or Azure. It's up to you. Okay. Everyone is having every provider is having their own their own market. Okay. AWS is number 1, Azure is number 2. So it's up to you. I cannot comment on it. And in fact, Kamal, to my advice is you can learn both AWS developer as well as admin. Okay. So whatever we are learning, solutions architect is from the infrastructure management point of view. Okay, not the developer point of view. Okay, but in fact, there's no much difference. There are 4 to 5 more services where you will have an exposure towards developer perspective. Okay.
Okay, if I go for admin, should I have to learn Python? And I think I know that DevOps is required.
Not required.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for all your.
Thank you, Kamal, and
thank you.
Please continue the rest of all the sessions, and then I hope you will enjoy the training. So we are done with deleting or launch configuration, deleting auto scaling. Next thing we need to delete launch configuration.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Delete launch configuration. It's very important. Whatever you created, you immediately delete it, and delete load balancer. Deleted load balancer. Delete topics. We have created topic in simple notification service. Under application integration, you have simple notification service. Remove the subscription also. Next, delete alarms. We have created 2 alarms in the CloudWatch. That's it. It's very important to delete the infrastructure, whatever we have created before signing out. Okay. In case if you exceed the limits, AWS provides you limited access to free tier account. In case if you exceed the limits, you may get a bill. In case if you want to check whether the bill is received or not, in the search bar, okay, you can search for billing. Go for billing, where in which you can check whether you have received any bill or not. See, I have received a bill of 999 rupees. Okay, so here you can see the bill, and you can also see because of which service you got the bill. I got the bill because $10 I received because it's Elastic Compute Cloud, and $0.5 I have received it because of Route 53 service. Okay, so Elastic load balancing, for that I have received $12. You can also track it accordingly. In case if you want to make the payment, you can make the payment, or you can avoid it. That's okay. Okay, so that's how you can check for the bill in case if you received it. So we are done with today's agenda. We are now clear about what auto scaling and what is the advantage of load balancing. Auto scaling goes together. All the clients uses auto scaling feature to make sure that they always have right number of instances to handle the traffic, because the traffic is always dynamic. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed the session. See, tomorrow we'll discuss about vertical scaling and horizontal scaling, many more interesting concepts for tomorrow's session. And one more important point, I have seen many participants messaging me that you are not part of WhatsApp groups. In case if you are not part of WhatsApp groups, my dear friends, okay, in case if you are not part of the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group using this particular group link, which I'm sending it in the chat box. I have just sent you the WhatsApp group link. If you are not belonging to the WhatsApp group of this specific batch, pick up the WhatsApp group from the chat box and join using that particular link. One minute, please. Okay. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the training. See you tomorrow. We'll discuss about the auto scaling, horizontal scaling and vertical scaling, which is very, very important. Okay. Thank you all. Bye, everybody.